Thanks to the incredible success of Into the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man for the PS4, people are more aware than ever of the many different versions of Spider-Man which have appeared in comics over the years. From the amazing Peter Parker, to the ultimate Miles Morales, to the Earth 65 adventures of Spider-Gwen, and the cartoony antics of Earth 8311's Peter Parker. But between all members of the Spider-Verse, one thing remains relatively constant, and that's the powers that each universe's Spider-Man has. Hello everybody, and welcome to the Science Of, where today, we're taking a look at the science behind the Webhead's many powers and abilities. Over the years, the Spider-Man franchise has seen numerous upgrades to the web-slinger's skills and gadgets, but for the purpose of this video, we're going to focus on Spider-Man for the PS4 to see how similar his abilities and techniques are to real-world spiders. When looking at Spider-Man's abilities, they can be grouped into two main categories: organic abilities caused by the spider bite, and then the gadgets that Peter Parker designed and put together once he decided to become Spider-Man. When looking at Spider-Man's organic powers, there are a few which we can cross off the list together: Spider-Man's super strength, quick reflexes, and his enhanced sense of balance. There are many examples of spiders showing off their power. A great example is the jumping spider, which can hold up to 170 times its own body weight, showing its incredible proportionate strength. On the other hand, although Spider-Man has incredible balance, real-world spiders actually have very poor balance due to their lack of balance and acceleration sensors, which means they have to rely mainly on their eyes to help them navigate through areas. Spider-Man's quick reflexes are often shown through his Spidey sense. This spider sense is shown throughout various mediums, and is the main reason Peter Parker hasn't been killed an almost infinite number of times, allowing him to notice possible threats in advance. This isn't dissimilar to real spiders, which have highly evolved sensitive hairs that cover their entire bodies. These perceive vibrations in the air or coming through the surface the spider is in contact with, sometimes being used in hunting as they help spiders to detect prey. And this is even shown in the MCU during Avengers Infinity War. Ironically, Spider-Man's advanced healing abilities might seem to be pure science fiction, but real spiders do have regenerative properties, going so far as to be able to regrow entire limbs if need be. As well as this, they're evolved to have distinct points on their legs known as break points. These tend to be close to their body and have special muscles which constrict tightly to limit the loss of blood. Some spiders even voluntarily lose legs if they need to, as they know they can regrow it. Spiders can recover these limbs through the use of their exoskeleton called an instar. Most spiders have at least 20 of these instars throughout their life cycle before reaching full size. The shedding of these instars is what allows for regeneration, and if a spider has enough of them left before adulthood, it can grow a new leg that looks the same as the remaining ones. However, it can take 2 or 3 moltings before the regenerated limb is the same as the original, so it may not be able to produce a leg as strong as the original if they don't have enough instars. And it's not just legs that can be regenerated, they can regenerate almost any appendage. Possibly the most obvious link between Spider-Man and real-world spiders is their ability to crawl along walls and ceilings. Spiders do this through 2 features that work in tandem. The primary reason that spiders can climb on walls is due to the hairy scopular pads that cover the ends of the spider's legs. These hairs are in turn covered by even smaller hairs called sexuals. There are over 500,000 of these sexuals spread across the spider's leg, and all of them have a triangular tip which helps them attach to walls. Although we don't see these in most comics or movie adaptations, we do see the sexuals in the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man film, but these alone are not enough to keep spiders attached to walls. The spider's sexuals also produce van der Waals forces, which give them a magnetic hold on the surface. Van der Waals forces occur when polar molecules are within microscopically close distances. These molecules consist of both positively and negatively charged regions, which form an attraction when paired with a molecule of opposing charge. To help maintain these forces, the sexuals increase the surface area of the spider's legs. Even larger spiders like tarantulas with hairier legs have multiple sexuals on each hair. Unfortunately, it's incredibly unlikely that any members of the Spider-Verse use these van der Waals forces to climb up walls, as these forces would be far too weak to support any human mass. So those are Spider-Man's organic powers. But how about his gadgets? Well, as you would imagine, the main bulk of Spider-Man's gadgets and tech comes in the form of webbing and web-based abilities. Real spiders have many different uses from their webs, from protecting their eggs to using it to transverse around areas. These webbings are typically made of 3 different types of protein: beta spirals, beta sheets, and 310 helixes. Like Peter's own webbing, this naturally degrades with time, though Spider's webbing takes about 4 years to lose some of its properties, whereas Spider-Man's webbing only takes about an hour. When it comes to Spider-Man's most popular ability, swinging around from webs, There's no relation between Spider-Man and real spiders, as real spiders are far too light to swing from their webbing and are far more likely to shoot a web across a gap and then form a bridge they can cross. The idea of Spider-Man swinging is more likely to come from the man part of Spider-Man. Primates can move by a process called Brachiation, whereby they swing by use of their long arms. Though this is not to say that none of Spider-Man's web-based abilities are similar to that of a spider. Spider-Man uses impact webbing to shoot webs as a projectile, and cause an enemy standing close to a wall to be thrown back, forcing them against the wall raised above the ground. The spitting spider, as the name suggests, doesn't use traditional webs to catch their prey. Instead, they spit out a fluid that consists of a mix of spider silk and venom, which allows them to immobilize their prey, similar to Spider-Man in-game. But as well as using impact webbing to stop enemies by restraining them, there are slight variations that web-slinging Peter Parker can use to incapacitate enemies in-game, including electric webbing. This works by passing an electric charge through the webbing before firing, and in combat allows for an enemy to be stunned. Now, spiders obviously can't electrify their webbing to turn it into a taser. However, spiders do have an odd relation with electric fields. The Earth has a distinct electromagnetic field caused by electricity which flows through the Earth's molten core, with these currents being passed out through the core of the Earth through the South Pole, very similar to your basic bar magnets. Spiders can use the hairs all over their bodies to sense this field, and by a process called ballooning, they can use it to launch themselves into the air and fly using silk-made balloons. This allows them to cover incredible distances, with some being found as far as 1,000 miles out to sea floating 2 miles in the air. The trip mine is used by Spider-Man in-game to target 2 enemies at once and bring them together at high speeds, resulting in them knocking each other out. Real spiders may not have any real equivalents to this, but there are other trap-like methods spiders use when hunting. Hyptiotes are a genus of spider which have a special method used in trapping their prey to eat. Hyptiotes have triangular webs which they manipulate and tighten with an anchor line. When their prey hits this web, they let go of the anchor line, causing the spider to shoot towards its prey on the web so that they can wrap it up in silk before consuming it. This isn't the only specialised hunting methods that spiders use. Some spiders, such as the Malaysian trapdoor spider, live in tubes and construct their own rudimentary trapdoors with a silk hinge. These are normally quite narrow, being only 1 inch in diameter. These are sometimes surrounded by networks of webbing which alerts the spider to prey. Once the prey touches the webbing near the door, they jump out of the trapdoor and drag them into their burrows before injecting them with venom. Before now, I've been talking about the abilities that are generally shared by multiple members of the Spider-Verse, but seeing as Miles Morales' Spider-Man is getting his own PS5 game, it would be a crime to not take a look at the powers which are specific to him and could be introduced in the upcoming PS5 title. Miles was bitten by a different genetically engineered spider compared to Peter Parker, which means in addition to all of the powers that Peter has, Miles also has the ability to camouflage himself and his clothes, making him practically invisible. Now of course, there are many different types of spider, and all are adapted with different patterns on their bodies to help them hide in their natural environments. But as well as this, Miles has the ability to paralyze anyone with a touch by using energy directed through his gloves. This venom touch is very similar to real spiders' venom, which is so powerful it's able to incapacitate birds, allowing spiders like the Goliath bird eater to consume them. So there we go. Those are just some of the similarities between members of the Spider-Verse and real spiders. And it's obvious that there was a great deal of care taken by INSOMNIAC as they transitioned spider abilities into real-world environments with the use of technology and gadgets. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then like and subscribe, and tell me if there's anything you'd like to see me cover in future videos down below. But until then, this has been the Science of INSOMNIAC Spider-Man. I'll see you next time.